Um, David Nicol, happy to have you back, man. 2 times in my classroom this year. Fantastic.
Thank you.
So we're going to look today at your vacation rental properties. Now, I own rental properties that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and they are a necessity for tenants to rent and have and pay. Vacation rentals are, some would think, maybe are kind of a luxury. Is there a reason why you invest in a vacation rental as opposed to a straight rental like a house?
Okay, well, it all goes back to kind of our last conversation. It's just money, right? You make more money on a vacation rental, especially with the technologies that's out there and the social media you have. I mean, really, it's kind of like what Uber did for the community. Airbnb and VRBO did kind of the same thing for the vacation rental community, not just vacation rentals, but just rentals in general.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, by using VRBO and Airbnb, you can connect with people out there that will come rent your home like it's a hotel. And the bottom line is renting to somebody long term, i.e., a 1-year lease or a 2-year lease, versus a VRBO or Airbnb vacation rental, comes down to this. Typically, when you rent a home long term, you're barely covering your mortgage, right? Maybe you may make a couple of $100 over your mortgage, i.e., your cash roll in your property.
Yeah.
But with VRBO and Airbnb, if you do your research and you buy the right place, you're making, sometimes 3 to 5 times your mortgage every month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we know your philosophy on paying off mortgages, right? So you want to keep a mortgage on your property. And did you on a vacation rental like this, can you get a 30-year mortgage? Or do you get a 15, or is the interest rate more expensive than maybe the house you have in Trophy Club because it's a rental?
Okay. So those are all, questions that lie in the gray area, right?
Right.
And what I mean by that is, anytime you buy a property, if it's a primary residence, in order to not commit mortgage fraud, you have to abide by the bank's rules. And sometimes they say, hey, we want you to live there for no longer than 6 months, or no shorter than 6 months.
Right.
Some are a year, some 2, just depends on the bank. But there are clauses in there like, if my job moves me, then here I am, I got to move into my next primary residence. And that's how people kind of manipulate the system. Interest rates are always going to be higher on an investment property, and you're always going to have to put more down on an investment property. But it depends on the bank. Some banks only require 10% down on an investment property, and your interest rate might be higher. I can tell you that I have, or go ahead.
Can you share what is what did they require you put down, and what is the interest rates right now? I think on my house it's 3.25%, maybe less than that. Is the interest rate higher than that on a vacation rental then?
Yeah, because it's more risk, right? The bank is taking on more risk because they know you're not living there taking care of your own home. You're renting your home to someone else.
Yeah.
But I would lend this to, or I would say this: who cares? Who cares, right? If your interest rate is 1% higher than your primary residence and it costs you an extra $300 a month, who cares if you're renting your place for $400 a night?
Right.
So what I mean by is, if you're making profit, like for instance, we have a vacation rental out in Possum Kingdom, and with our mortgage, taxes, HOA, and we pay PMI, which is mortgage insurance, because we only put 10% down, it comes out to about $2,300 a month. Okay. But from March to September, if we're making $7,000 a month,
right,
who cares? It doesn't matter, right?
There's really $7,000 a month in rental on vacation. Let me pull up your rental real quick here, and we can talk about it as we're looking at it. But you've got your listed here on VRBO, $7,000. How did you know? How did you have the foresight to know Possum Kingdom would be such an incredible place for vacation rentals?
Okay. Well, we didn't. So share, my wife was looking at these properties and we kind of went out there and stayed there. And we were like, this is really nice. It's upscale. It's close to Dallas. We know people from Dallas want a quick place to go vacation. It's only an hour to an hour and a half away. It's got a nice pool, hot tub, fire pit, lake access. There's boat rentals, jet ski rentals. There's everything you could want in a weekender vacation right there.
Okay.
Um, and then you start getting on VRBO and Airbnb and you start researching what properties are going for around there. Hey, this 2-bedroom, 2-bath house on the lake is going for $800 a night
Okay.
or $500 a night. And so you can kind of base it off of that, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you decide, hey, this is going to be a good option, or maybe it's not going to be a good option.
Right.
And Airbnb and VRBO show occupancy rates, all this kind of research that you can use in order to make your decision.
David, this looks really nice. Like, I mean, so 10% down, and $2,300 a month. And what is you had to furnish this. I mean, obviously this doesn't, like, the previous owners don't sell you the property with all of the furniture.
Correct.
Too, right? So you had to furnish it. Did you go and shop at Goodwill for this, or did you buy it retail, or how'd you do that?
Oh no, we bought it from Living Spaces, and honestly, we went nice. Like we spent the money to furnish it and make the place look really good, because that's what people want. They don't want to come sleep on some $100 bed and have their back hurt on vacation. They want to come someplace where it's comfortable, it's nice, and they're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. Now, to furnish a place like that, we probably spent, I don't know, probably between $30,000 and $40,000.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But
all right,
so this might be a longer conversation, Brian, but there's ways to manage this. Like, let me give you again the money example. Let's say we bought the place for $300,000 for ease of math. Put 10% down, that's $30,000. We spent $40,000 furnishing it. That's a total of $70,000,
Yeah.
right? The furnishing, you can just go to the furniture store and get a credit card, right?
Dave Ramsey's not going to allow you to get a credit card, Dave. Come on, sir.
I don't care about Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey needs to go away. This is 2021, man. So you go to the furniture store and you get a credit card and you get your furniture on credit, right? You come up with a 10% down. There's even hard money lenders that will go out there and lend you that 10% down at a very high interest rate, but they don't require collateral. They'll give you cash and it doesn't go on your credit.
Okay.
I mean, you could be an 18-year-old with a job walking dogs and pet sitting, making $50,000 a year, and go out and do something like this.
Right.
And I say that because I follow a girl on Instagram that did just that.
Okay. Interesting. Man, you got some nice reviews here. So how important are reviews to have you got any bad ones? Have people been like, or has it all been pretty rosy?
No, it's been pretty rosy. I mean, the other part of that is customer service. My wife is very on top of trying to make sure that our tenants are happy. We have an amazing maid who is essentially our operations officer, right? She has a key to our place. Anytime something goes wrong, she's Johnny on the spot. She's out there taking care of it for us.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, does she go and fix things, or does she like?
She does. Her husband's actually a handyman, and if we have something that breaks, they will go out and take care of it for us.
Is that her whole business then? Is that her whole business?
That's her whole business. Yeah. Wow. And she actually takes care of several units on that property.
Okay. And how did you find her?
Luck.
Okay.
Through mutual friends, but yeah, we were lucky to find her.
Can I ask you a personal question here? And this is too personal. You let me know, what is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath place like this cost? Just what's the purchase price of it?
Right now, we got it for $320, but I think they're in the 400s right now.
Wow. So from the time you bought it to now, it's appreciated 80,000 plus.
Yeah, which is not,
man,
that's not like, that's a kind of a, grand slam scenario.
Right.
Right.
Not normal. Right.
you know, we've talked about kind of the rest of the market conditions with crypto last time we talked, and what's happening, inflation, there's a housing crunch, people aren't building, there's not enough homes being built. I mean, there's a supply crunch right now, and that's why it's gone up that much.
So do you have more success with VRBO, or do you have more success with Airbnb?
I would say Airbnb, but it's mixed.
Wow, why? Why do you think that is?
Well, it's the websites and how they market, and the work that they put into doing their own marketing. Obviously, we're not the ones that are out there per se marketing this ourselves. That's why we use Airbnb and VRBO, because they're kind of our marketing.
And what do they take? Let's say it's $100 a night. What's their percentage that they would take of that?
Sherry,
No, it's always different.
it's anywhere from, I would say, 8 to 20%. One of them's higher, right?
Yeah, one
VRBO.
is higher. I don't remember.
I think VRBO is higher. It's like 15 to 20%.
And you have a minimum of 3 nights stay. Is that correct?
Yes.
No,
So
right
what-
now we have two.
Well, right now we
They
have
changed
2
it.
during the winter time because it's a little harder to rent out there in the winter.
And so this is your off-peak time right now. So are you
Yes.
getting a lot of rentals right now? Are there people looking to rent right now, or is it pretty
On
much?
the weekends,
Not right now.
but it's a little tougher during the winter. And that's a good point that you're making, is that when you're renting during the summertime, you need to save some of that money so that you can cover yourself during the winter time.
Like
Right.
June and July, every single day was booked.
Yeah, June and July, every day was booked, and it was booked at a higher rate than this.
What
think
do you
just
book it at? What does it go for on those nights, on those days?
So I'll give you an example. I think during the weeknights it was $3.99, and during the weekends it was $4.99, and on weekends like 4th of July, it was all the way up to $800 a night.
$800 a night. Are you crazy? So somebody rents that, and if it's
Well,
full-
I'm not crazy. I'm the one making the money.
I know, that's incredible, man. Wow, $800 a night. And so it's really kind of feels like a feast or famine kind of thing. Like you're gonna do really well for about 6 to 7, maybe 8 months, and then it's gonna be a lighter occasion. You're probably gonna be able to cover your mortgage even at just doing the weekends or whatever. And so
Oh, absolutely. Like during the winter time, we're covering our mortgage right now, so we're good. We're just not making per se monthly profit during the winter time.
Okay. And how did you pick this property? You probably looked at a lot of properties. How did you how did you come across and decide
So
on?
again, that's all on Sherry. She did all the research. She found this place, and again, she saw it and it looked really nice. And this was a new construction.
Okay.
This is a brand new property. And she, like I said, we went out and stayed in it. And hey, Sherry, can you plug this up? Sorry, my computer might die. There we go. I got it.
You stayed in this before you bought it.
We did, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So our real estate agent, her name's Shamila, she owns 2 of these
Okay.
out there. And when we were talking to her about this property, she said, hey, come stay in my condo, take a look at it, see what you think, and then that'll help you make the decision. Right. And so
Right.
that's exactly what we did. And off we went.
Okay.
And now we're actually looking at vacation properties in other places like Destin, Florida, Galveston, places where we could potentially get more of a year-round rental income.
Right.
And press on and scale that way. But I'll be honest with you, knowing what I know now, the only house that I will probably ever rent again in a long-term lease fashion is the house that I live in now, if we move out of it and decide not to sell it.
Okay.
Every property that we buy from now on, aside from the house that we're actually living in, will be a VRBO Airbnb property, because why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like how many hours a week? And I only got about 2 more minutes with you here. How many hours a week would you say that you spend on taking care of this property, from anything from paying mortgages to responding to tenants or whatever? How many hours a week or maybe a month do you spend on it? And what's maybe a problem that you've had with this property?
Maybe an hour a week, if that.
An hour a week, that's it? And you're making $7 grand a month? David Nicol, that is incredible.
And then problems that you have with a property are the same problems you're gonna have with any property, right? The door, the electric locks not working, or, I mean, that's probably the biggest problem we've had with this is the batteries ran out of the lock because it's a internet lock, right? And so our housekeeper has to come let the tenants in, change the batteries, and there we go. When we
Okay.
first moved into the house, there was a water leak because the guys that were building the property stapled through a water pipe when they were putting up drywall, and the whole floor in the master bedroom flooded. So they had to come replace the entire floor and fix all the,
Wow.
so that was a little bit of a nightmare.
Does the insurance cover this the same way it would cover like one of my rental properties? Is it just
The builder actually covered it. The builder covered it. But it's good that you brought up insurance, because one of the amazing things about VRBO and Airbnb is they give you a $1 million umbrella coverage.
Okay.
Right? So you can get your extra insurance, but on a brand new property, God forbid something happens to somebody, it would be tough for them to eat through $1 million in coverage.
Right.
In liability, right? Because as the owner, what did you do that was so egregious that cost somebody, $1 million?
Right. Right.
Probably nothing. And Airbnb knows that, so does VRBO.
But
So
but like in the PITI of it, you still have to buy insurance, right? So it would be like a rental policy, right?
yes.
Okay. So it's similar to a rental property. It's just but the insurance company doesn't label it as like a vacation rental property. They just look at it as a rental property, right? Oh, I think I lost you. Are you there?